All right, everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Flights OKC. Eric is always with my co-host Jason. Our friend in front of you and in between us is Vern Wilson. He is the owner of Bad Brad's Barbecue here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is Season 3, Episode 5. This is barbecue, bourbon, and barrel picks at Bad Brad's with the man himself, Vern Wilson. I met you through our buddy Scott, who unfortunately doesn't live here anymore.
Correct.
Yeah. But we were up here visiting him and just hanging around Stillwater, and he goes, oh, we need to go by this barbecue place. He's got a pretty good bourbon selection, and you were here, and we started talking about bourbon, and I said, hey, we have this podcast. We should come up here and do that. And that was, I don't know, like 8 months ago.
At least.
So it's taken a while.
At least.
But here we are. So what I asked you, I think, was to grab like a bottle under 50, one of your favorites. But before we dive into that, why don't you just tell us a little bit about Bad Brad's, how you got started in this, and what you got going on up here?
So Bad Brad's originally started in Pawhuska. Brad Barton started it years and years and years ago. His daughter and son-in-law started the Stillwater location. Would have been 31 years ago in 94, I think.
Okay. So it's been around for a while.
It's been around for a while. They sold out in September of 2009. And in May of 2010, June of 2010, I came in and started working for the guy they sold out for. And I worked for him until COVID. And then bought it and moved it over here.
Sweet. Awesome. Nice. And it seems like it's going well. I mean, I know you guys, I saw outside you guys do like a big summer concert series here.
Yeah, I need to take that poster down. That was from last year. It's just, it's way up high, and it's alien taped on.
Yeah.
Oh. So...
Hey, Moose, would you get out there and take that sign down?
Yeah. I forget about it. I think it's put on the bottom of the list.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's doing good, you know. It is both exceeded expectations in some ways and underperformed in some. Just running a business, man. It's really cool that the barbecue, you know, September would be 31 years for Bad Brad's in Stillwater.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. It's cool to have that history behind it, you know.
But this is still a 4.5-year-old business.
Yeah.
Because I started from scratch.
Yeah.
I started, I didn't have anything. I was post-divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you thought to yourself, man, you know what I should do? I should buy a restaurant.
So I started working here in June of 2010 and just about starved to death.
Yeah.
Ate a lot of barbecue. I was only working about 20 hours a week. I filled out 27 job applications. I got a call back from Bad Brad's because I knew a pretty little blonde waitress that used to work at a Mexican joint down in Wilburton, Oklahoma, where we both went to junior college. And I knew her. She said, hey, come apply here. And that's the only job I got a call back for out of 27 applications.
That's crazy, man. That's nuts.
Yeah. And 2 years later, I was running it. The guy that owned it was in Yukon. He owned the one in Yukon, which he recently, in the past couple of years, sold to essentially my counterpart.
Okay.
Part down there, great guy. Both of them are pretty good guys, man. I worked with them for a decade.
Yeah.
And, you know, he might have got mad at me every now and then because I'm both a pretty good employee and a pretty bad employee.
I've rolled into one.
Thanks to my dad. I work really hard, but if I see something I don't like, I'm going to tell you about it. If I don't want to do anything, I don't want to do something, I'm probably not going to do it.
Well, and I think that's just part of being an adult. You know, it's like when you're a kid, you get told what you do and you have to do it, right? Because it's your parents are in charge, and you know, like people will come up to me and they're like, "Well, you have to do this," and I'm like, "I don't have to do anything. I'm an adult. I can choose what I want to do." But again, you're so right because that can make you a really, really good employee in some respects, but in the other respects, it's like, well, I don't feel like doing that, so I'm just not going to.
And that's the deal. Is like for me, I would just tell them I thought it was a bad idea, and we would not always see eye to eye on stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was one of those things where he probably couldn't afford to get rid of me because I was necessary.
Yeah.
I was worth the pain in the butt. I probably was.
Yeah.
Especially I was young.
That's good though. That's job security.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. for sure. That was the thing is I here a few years ago, somebody was asking about buying it, and I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Man, I can, this is just a couple years post-COVID." And I said, "I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty employable. I don't show up to work drunk. I don't do any drugs. I don't have a record. I have common sense, and I don't mind working."
Yeah.
And that's pretty employable right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
post-COVID, that's pretty necessary.
Well, I mean, we were just talking about that last night in like the restaurant industry. I mean, like we belong to Rose Creek Country Club down there, and we were talking about the turnover, and I'm like, I don't know if that's that seems to be like an everywhere thing, like especially in the restaurant industry, like the people that you hire aren't going to last. They're not going to stay here for 10 years. It's
and it's worse in Stillwater because we're at college. Too.
Yeah,
and the good ones will come in, and you won't be able to afford them in 3 years because they have. So you get an 18-year-old that comes in here, and he's first year in college. He's a great worker. A lot of times they're going to be engineers. I've had some really good luck with engineers. I don't know why, but they seem to fit this lifestyle, and I think it's because it's kind of hectic, and it's a whole lot of information, so it kind of works with their brains or something. I don't know, but it has proven I have had a lot of really good luck with engineers in the past 15 years of doing this.
Nice.
And you get them really good and trained up in 3 years, and you've got somebody that could almost run your restaurant without you. And then they're going to go make $90,000 a year starting out.
Then they're going to go do that.
You can't pay them that.
Yeah. Then they're going to go do that if they can do that.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And that's I've got a lot of people that have worked for me in the past that are making a lot of money right now, doing really good. But you just can't keep them. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. We start out, and COVID was. It's been wild.
Yeah.
Because we were paying $8 an hour starting out.
Yeah.
And what bad money then for a 15-year-old that knew nothing, that was, a cashier for us.
Yeah.
Or just starting out in the kitchen, washing dishes, whatever. We were paying $8 to $9 an hour. Everybody here starts at 13.
Yeah.
And from 2020 to 2024, beginning of 24, we made that jump.
Yeah.
Everybody starts at 13. That's about what is that?
It's like a 33%, if not
Something
more,
like
pay
that.
raise.
33, 35%
a little bit
increase
more than that, actually. Yeah.
in payroll.
Yeah.
Just your payroll.
Yeah.
That's a boot.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere's like that though, and you can't compete with some people. Some of these guys, and I'll never be able to compete with Chick-fil-A and those guys on payroll. Like what I can pay somebody.
Yeah.
That's why small business owners, especially restaurants, do a lot of stuff themselves, and a lot of it's they're a family-run business. It is because it has to be sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
I ask my wife how much she's here.
Yeah, I believe it. It also sounds like you're doing all the food for the OSU wrestling camps and stuff.
Correct.
As well?
Yeah. This is, I want to say it's our 4th year in a row. It's first year with David Taylor.
Nice.
I like David a lot. I thought that was a really good hire. John Smith comes in here a lot and still does. When he's around, he's running around right now.
Yeah.
He does a lot more traveling now, and he loves it. He's either traveling or he's got a ranch just south of here, and he's down there on his ranch.
Yep.
And I don't blame him. I'm happy as I'll get out for him.
Yeah.
But a lot of people thought that job should have went to Coleman Scott, and I would not have been mad about that either because I like Coleman, and Coleman is doing awesome things down here on his new place. He's got a 30-acre complex called the Farm. My boy, my oldest son, is scheduled to go for the novice camp in August, and there's going to be a lot of kids come out of that Coleman just got opened on last month, fully open, and I'm going to tell you, that thing, he's going to do cool stuff.
Yeah,
but they hired, a lot of people were aggravated about them hiring David Taylor, and I'm like, man, they hired an assassin, and he went and surrounded himself by a bunch of killers.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Yeah.
You hired John Smith in 2024. John was the baddest dude around. And I still wouldn't want to tackle him.
Yeah.
And I'm 100 pounds heavier and 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Yeah. And it's so funny, too, like how, like obviously OSU's baseball program was really good this year. We won't really talk about the football program, but the wrestling program. But it's funny, like to me, especially being from the East Coast, like this town that to me kind of feels like it's up here in the middle of nowhere, like is thriving with sports, and obviously the school is amazing. Like the campus, if you've never been to the campus at OSU, it's beautiful, all red brick. It's gorgeous. Like they did such a good job of like keeping it. It all looks the same, right? Like you got a lot of these colleges and new buildings look like they're new buildings and old ones but they did a really good job on like uniformity. But it's just crazy that you have so much going on. Again, as an East Coast kid, like just out here in the middle of nowhere, really.
Man, we're really spoiled because we're a central location. We're an hour from Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
We're an hour from Tulsa. If you live on one side or the other, it turns into 14 or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I live over in Ripley, and I'm 45 minutes from the Tulsa Aquarium, or 50 minutes from the Tulsa Aquarium.
Yeah.
And then we're only 2.5 hours from Wichita. So we're a small, big town, 50,000 people. And it's that comes with awesome things and really not awesome things.
Yeah.
Especially in the past 10 years or so, because used to, if you had 50,000 people, you would qualify for stuff like a Target. You would meet their criteria. Well, that is all raised to like 80 or 90,000 now.
Yeah.
And just like if you wanted to open, and this was 8 years ago, a buddy of mine checked into to open in a Twin Peaks in Stillwater.
Yeah.
You got to have 2 million liquid assets, but you've got to have 80,000 people.
Yeah.
You got to have 2 million in the bank plus what you need to borrow to build a business.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy.
But the 50, everybody was wanting. Ready for Stillwater, hit 50,000. Ready for Stillwater, hit 50,000. Well, we hit it, and by the time we hit it, that mark jumped to 80.
Yeah, of course, the moving target.
That's
right?
how it goes. That's how it goes. Well, what bourbons did you grab for us today? So again, you had the kind of assignment we try to give everybody, the under $50 bottle that's easy to find, and then just one of your kind of go-tos.
I brought a Michter Sour Mash, which is one of my favorite bourbons. For as much as I like some sour mashes, I hate Jack Daniels.
Okay.
I like Jack Daniels when you get into single barrels and stuff like that, and the barrel proofs.
Yeah.
Love them. I hate Old Number 7. I just can't.
It's
do it.
too sweet. It's for me. It's too sweet.
Not for me.
It's not good. It's objectively
but that
not
Michter
good.
Sour Mash is really, really good. I think it's a $40 bottle, 38, 40
Nice.
bucks, something like that.
Which one of those is lower proof? Because we'll start with that one. Whatever is the lowest.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Sour Mash.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that old Forster's running about 128 probably.
Yep. You can't spill it though.
That's
Don't
I can't make any
don't
sense.
miss.
Don't do it.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's kind of a running.
Hey, nobody's
joke.
watching.
Yeah.
Nobody. The world knows.
Thank
Wow.
you, sir.
So, as we always are in Bourbon Flights OKC, we're live on TikTok as well. I guess I'll give the plug now. If you're just stopping by on TikTok, make sure to check us out on YouTube, Bourbon Flights OKC. Conversely, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you check out our TikTok channel. We record these pretty much every weekend. We stay live. Throw a line in the comments. We're always willing to start up a discussion. Like we got somebody that came in here just to say hello and go Pacers, which screw that person. And then
Everybody makes bad decisions,
Hey,
man.
it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
That's right.
And then 3 pieces of pecan says whiskey in Oklahoma, good combo. I agree. And barbecue.
And barbecue.
That's right. So now I got that plug out of the way. Let's get into this. So this is the Michter's
Small batch
sour mash, right?
If you want. See, Michter's is always good.
I love Michter's. That's one of the bottles that like I'll just have around the house.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
86 proof.
Yeah, and that's why I think Michter's is it's easy to drink. Like this and the regular small batch is fairly low proof. Like it's just easy.
That is a good drink.
Then you get into the toasted and some of the higher proof mixtures.
Yeah.
The Michter's 10-year and all that stuff. You get in some really nice bottles.
Yeah, and that's really nice and smooth. You don't get a whole lot of ethanol with it either, too.
No.
Which
I was
is nice.
supposed to get a Michter's 25 into Bad Brad's a couple years ago, and I'm still butthurt it didn't come.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
It hurt my feelings a lot. Like,
I could understand.
That
Like I
checks out.
had it sold.
Nice and
They were
sweet.
going to come in for a tasting and buy the whole bottle.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Never happened, huh?
No, it would have been a very nice payday.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
we've heard some other things, like a distributor was supposed to get a uncut, unfiltered E.H. Taylor for me to one of the liquor store, and
Good
when
luck.
when they got it, he picked up the tube and it was running out the bottom.
Yeah.
And they said, we're going to replace it. It never got replaced.
No.
Never.
Oh my God!
So,
Oh well.
yeah, I was close.
Shit happens, I
I
guess.
wish I'd have known. I'd have gone there with a mop and mopped it up myself.
Oof.
Yeah,
So-
that's a hard one to find. Unfortunately, well, here it is.
Very.
Anyway.
Yeah. I'm just looking through, like, our friends at Breaking Bourbon always do really awesome reviews. We kind of like, we'll drink it, we'll talk about it, and then we'll kind of just run through the review. So, they're saying fresh cut apple and nutmeg on the nose, which I don't know if I get the fresh cut apple. I can see maybe the nutmeg a little bit.
See, I could see the apple.
Yeah. And
We've been serving a bunch of apples at the camp every morning. We serve a case of apples. So, like, I'm kind of familiar with the smell. I could see
we got
that.
apples on the brain.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, hey, Moose,
And I would could definitely be a red apple.
yeah, could you have one of the guys grab an apple from the walk-in? We'll just smell it and compare.
That's
There
right.
we go.
And then on the palate, they're talking butterscotch, vanilla, caramel, toffee, and coffee cake.
So I don't get the coffee cake. I do get a little toffee.
Yep. And I can get the butterscotch too, but like
It's light.
not like it's not like the
Werther's, yeah.
Well, the Werther's and the caramel. What's the butterscotch candies? Like the
the
you know, the
Brock's.
old school.
The Brock.
Werther's
Yeah.
original? Or the
No, because Werther's
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
caramel ones,
Yeah,
but
so it's the
they're in that like
Brock's. Yellow,
like neon yellow
Werther's
wrapper.
Brock's or something like that.
Yeah.
They used to be in the grocery store.
But it's not like that. It's way more subtle.
Yeah,
Y'all
for
boys
sure.
are above my pay grade when it comes to that. I just know I like it.
See, and it's so funny because we were literally talking about this last night. I mean, we have a good friend who I think you've probably heard his name, Justin Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you? But you guys haven't met, I don't
I don't
think.
think so.
We need to have both of
He
you
moves
guys
a
on
bunch
because
of
then
stuff.
we'd have a whole lot of beard on that podcast.
Yep.
A whole
got a
lot of beard.
fantastic
Yeah.
beard.
We were talking to him last night when we were hanging out drinking, and he's a bourbon steward. He's a squire with Jack Daniels, so
Yeah.
this is his thing, right? Like, he loves this, and he goes, "It's so different the way everybody drinks.
Mhm.
It's so different the stuff that everybody smells." And there's not really a right way and a wrong way to do it. It's just finding out what you like and how you enjoy it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, like for us, and I said this in the beginning of the podcast before we even started, we know just enough to be dangerous.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, like, we're trying to learn, we're trying to improve our palates, but there's some times where I'll take a drink and I'm like, I have no idea. So that's why I like coming to breakingbourbon.com, because then you can kind of say, oh yeah, I can see that, and you can call it power of suggestion, whatever you want. But yeah, I mean,
Well, and two, it's building that frame of reference for oh shit. I didn't know you cut it. I thought it was a whole apple. As I
That's a
promised,
good trick.
So, yeah, Nacho, if you're watching, as I promised, I told you something would go
something
wrong.
bad would happen.
Luckily, we didn't have the cameras on when I tripped and knocked over the lights.
Yeah, I guess I can see it. It's very subtle though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting.
I'm not going to waste an apple.
No, why would you? Apples are delicious. I'm sure this will probably ruin my palate, but who cares? It's
It'll buff
delicious.
out.
It'll buff out.
We're
We
getting
have that
drink.
on these big jobs.
You damn right. No, so for the wrestling camp, we're feeding 250 is our smallest day. And then like this morning we fed 270, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll feed 400 for breakfast, lunch, and breakfast.
Wow.
Is this a day camp or is it a stay in?
It's a stay in, isn't it? So it's actually like 3 camps in one.
Okay.
So we started Monday, which means we started cooking Saturday or Sunday. And then 7 a.m. every morning, we're feeding breakfast. We'll either do breakfast burritos, a continental breakfast, or breakfast sandwiches. and then we'll do lunch at 11:30.
Yeah.
And then we're actually feeding the Aim High Air Force Flight Academy that OSU is putting on up the road, and it's smaller by quite a bit, but there's more of it. We're doing 12 people 3 times a day for 13 days. And then it skips a week and we do it all again.
Wow.
For the next.
Yeah. That's awesome though, man. It's good to have that business, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's the return business on it is great, especially in Stillwater in June.
Oh yeah,
that's big time.
Because I mean, right? Yeah, college is out, so you don't have the college crowds.
Yeah, well, and Stillwater is doing better, but it's really hard to bring in summer business to Stillwater because you've got the hotels, you don't have the facilities, and they're fixing to build them. That's one of the things I talk about on my podcast with the mayor of Stillwater was they're fixing to build a bunch of softball fields and baseball fields down on 12th Street next to where the hospital has their new stuff and breaking ground. Mm-hmm. And that'll mean, hey, Stillwater's going to start bringing in bigger tournaments. Yeah. We've got the hotels for it already.
Yeah.
That are definitely not doing anything during the summer.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all, and I think, Stillwater's obviously, we've talked about it growing and, but Oklahoma City on a grander scale, right, is doing the same thing. I mean, we were talking about on the drive up here, it just keeps growing and growing, and people don't want to move here, so they're moving over here and they're pushing this out. And then you look at all the stuff that's happening. I mean, right, they're building a new Thunder Arena, then they're going to demolish Paycom and put a multi-use space in there. So you're going to have shops and restaurants, and then they're talking about building this Legends Tower and all this crazy stuff. I mean, it's insane just how fast everything's growing. And it's obviously different with a college town per se than it's going to be with, a major city like Oklahoma City, but it's still kind of those same principles of it sounds so cheesy, but if you build it, they will come, right? If you have to have the infrastructure for it to grow, you know what I mean? And
that's the deal. They're doing it. They're bringing in a bunch of business. They're bringing in a bunch of new businesses, big businesses like the Google data center. Just that job, they're going to have at least 6 years of construction, up to 10 years. And, they got a lot of guys working right now on dirt work, but once the dirt work's done, the concrete's ready, and they're building stuff and installing stuff, they'll have 500 people on that job site every single day, 7 days a week for 6 years.
Yeah.
Possibly 10 to 12.
Probably 10 to 12.
Because it'll end up expanding.
If we know anything about construction.
So they're I can't remember if they're guaranteed to build 4 or 6. They're guaranteed to build 4, but they want to build 6. I think.
Okay.
So if they build the extra 6, it'll be the 10 to 12 years, I think.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at the notes from my other deal, but they're bringing in a bunch of big stuff. And there was people against it, but it's man, grappers are going to grab, bitchers are going to bitch.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's those are the people that move next to the airport and then complain about all the airport noise.
Yeah, they live out by Tumbleweed and they're like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, why are you here?
The music's loud out here at Tumbleweed. It's a bar, right? It's the biggest bar in Stillwater, in Payne County.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah. What do you think's going to happen here?
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't fix stupid, so it is what it is. All
you
right.
can't beat it out or breed it out. It's just there.
Let's move on to the Old Forester you brought.
This is my favorite.
This is your jam, right?
It's
the single barrel.
So we were talking, and this one is a Minnesota Selection number 3, 131.9. Nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's funny. Usually when people start, you start on the lower proof stuff, and then as you really start to develop your taste for bourbon, it seems like you always end up over 112, 114. Anything above that, you seem to get richer flavors. It
depends though for me, because Stag's running 130.
Some of them are.
Different one.
It doesn't matter.
But I hate Stag.
I
think it's hot.
Junior,
the Stag Junior. I have not got a George T quite yet.
We had it once.
It
was very good.
It was wonderful. My best friend showed up with a bottle of it, and boy,
this is good. Y'all are gonna love this. My little cousin, who is like my little brother, his father-in-law and him went to, I'm not going to say where, but they went in Texas, and he picked up a Handy and a George T for retail.
Oh, yeah. That would be
$300 for the pair.
Right? That would be a dream.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I was like, hey, maybe next time you call.
Yeah.
You call your cousin, but
That's right.
like, come on now.
Right?
That's
Because
right.
usually I've seen them in
Oh.
town and in Edmond, and they were $1,500 each.
Oh yeah, easy.
Oh yeah.
Easy. Yeah. No, he picked them up for retail in Texas, not too far on the other side of the line. But yeah, I was like, hey, next time you go down there,
Yeah. Pick up the
give
phone.
your
man.
boy a call.
Pick up the
Right?
phone.
So
dude.
my wife
I
does,
took you hunting for a bunch when you were a kid, man. Come on now.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife volunteers for a rescue, so we'll transport dogs to foster families and stuff. And the agreement is wherever we stop, I get to go bourbon hunting. So I've gotten lucky once, but most of the time I usually strike out, don't find much. But
Yeah.
so
I mean, it's tough though. It's tough going into a place that you don't really know because you're like, oh yeah, I'll stop over here, and then there's nothing there, you know.
So that's what I love about Old Forester. It has that smell of like the whiskey house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just smells old.
It smells like good old bourbon.
Like, yeah, it smells old, like an old store that you walk into, and you know everything you get there is going to be awesome.
Right. It's
But yeah, that is by far. I try to pick up every one of those that I can find, especially from different. Like I said, I've got a few. I've got over a dozen.
So
of them
is this a barrel pick?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a. What did I say?
Minnesota
Wisconsin?
Select 3. I think?
Minnesota Selection number 3.
Cool.
Scott Tang from Happy Monk. Is it?
Happy Monk. Yeah.
Yeah, Happy Monk down there in Norman picked that up for me.
Nice.
Did a little swapping and trading.
We haven't
It's
had
got
the
a
pleasure
nice
of meeting
color.
Scott, but like we're I feel like our groups are like adjacent.
Yeah,
You know, like we
I'm
all
trying to-
know each other, but we just haven't actually
yeah.
gotten together.
It
You know what I
happens.
mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a
gotten to
pretty
go down there. I need to.
it's a pretty small group. Like when you really think about
Yeah.
it, like it's not.
When you
500
get into the
people.
serious bourbon people
Yeah.
that really like bourbon,
Yeah.
and it's not about just drinking.
Yeah, us weirdos,
Right.
us bourbon weirdos.
Right.
Maybe that's what we should change the name of the podcast. Bourbon
Bourbon
weirdos.
Right.
But yeah, I totally agree. Like it smells like when Ron Burgundy says my apartment smells of rich mahogany and I have many leather-bound books. Like
Yes.
it seems like there should be like a bottle of Old Forester
Right.
single barrel sitting there. Like
It would be appropriate.
it blends into that vibe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting on this. And again, this is a barrel pick, right? So this is going to be different, and it's a single barrel, so this is going to be different. But again, I'm just going off of what Breaking Bourbon has on here. On the nose, cherry cough syrup, Granny Smith apples, creme brulee, and wet oak. I don't know if I agree with the cherry cough syrup because I hate cherry cough syrup.
I
Yeah.
get cherry, but not the syrup, cough
Yeah.
syrup part. There's no.
Sad.
It's like if you
I
did
get
that,
like red
a-
fruits,
almost
yeah.
like the thicker cherries. You know, the cherries that come in that thicker syrup.
Oh,
That
like
smells-
the
the good
Luxardo
ones.
ones, the
Luxardos,
good
yeah.
maraschinos.
Yeah, the
I can
maraschino.
see that. I can see that.
I don't get the. But
I get the creme
So-
brulee. I get the apples now that probably because the apples are sitting right here. But
Have y'all had the Costco cherries?
the Costco cherries.
Get the Costco cherries.
No.
I have not got a bottle yet, but I've got a buddy that swears by them. They're like the Luxardos.
Uh-huh.
They're in that thick, heavy syrup, but
Yep.
they're bigger
Oh,
and,
really?
and cheaper.
Right. Yeah, because
So we buy a gallon, a double number 10 can of Luxardos when
Yeah.
we buy Luxardos because we do so many smoked old fashions.
Oh
here.
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you have to.
Signature drink of Bad Brad's Barbecue is our smoked old fashioned. Many have tried, none have replicated it. Good luck.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Folks.
I don't
Shameless
care.
plug.
Hey, listen, I've said it for a long time. Anybody that wants to play the game and come and make a better old fashioned than me in this setting, or a better prime rib on a smoker, let's do it.
No.
Showdown.
There you go. There's the
Old-fashioned
challenge.
showdown
Battle
right there.
Royale.
I can't make them.
Battle.
There's a
Royale.
lot of drinks I can't make. Like
Yeah.
I refuse to make a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
If
That's
I make you-
that's just a great way to be hungover.
Yeah.
if I make you an LIT, I'm going to charge you more than I should for it.
That's right.
1,000%, I judge you. That's the only really drink I don't like making. I hate
Really?
it. Or I had a girl that would come in, and at like 11:30 in the morning they came out. Her and a friend. It's okay. I don't care. I don't judge you for drinking at 11 a.m.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere.
I
man.
judge you when you order a water monster shot that has 5 different ingredients for an ounce and a half shot at 11:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Be an adult.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Be an adult and have some Rumplemans. Okay?
Yes.
Do you like Rumplemans?
I love them.
Oh my
But,
god! Yeah.
Here's the I am a Rumpel fiend.
Oh, dude.
If I'm drinking Rumpel though, it's probably after midnight, and that means you need to get me out of wherever I am, because I don't have a filter anyways.
Yeah.
I really don't have to have a filter after I switch to Rumpel.
Yeah, that was my wife's first thing she drank on her 21st birthday. She used to work at basically a junk mail place, but she worked third shift, so she got off in the morning. It's like 9 a.m. She walks into this bar, and there's like an old guy sitting there, and she's with a couple of her friends, and she's like, "Can I have Rumplemans?" And the guy just like turns over to her and go, "That shit'll make you bring back stuff you never stole." So yeah, I have a picture of, when I got married, I bought all of my groomsmen 750s of Rumplemans, and there's a great picture of us doing a shot out of them.
I love it.
I'll have to show you
I'm
that
a
picture.
Rumpel fan though.
Yeah.
Like I drink whiskey, and most of the time, like the sour mash is probably the lowest proof I like to drink, and that's just because it's got a great flavor.
Yeah.
And it's an 86 proof. You know,
Yep.
I am a type 2 diabetic, so like I really watch my sugars and carbs.
Yeah.
Anything above
It's
90,
important.
anything above 90 proof is an insulin inhibitor, so it stops my insulin from going up.
Yeah.
And,
So I'm a fan of.
and the nice thing
Higher
about
proofs.
bourbon is you can't add sugar to it.
That's right.
And it all gets eaten during the fermentation
That's right.
process. Because I
Correct.
was borderline diabetic, and my doctor
Yep.
was like, I said, I'm drinking bourbon. You can't. I
tequila.
explained it to him, and he's like,
Yeah.
"You're good."
Yeah.
For tequila. I
Um,
like good tequila.
No.
So
yeah,
what's-
we've had some good tequila the other day.
You gave me a good tequila when I was
What
here
was
last.
that?
Probably
the
Codigo.
painted donkey.
The Painted Donkey. Have you had that?
That was
No.
good.
Oh, it's excellent.
And then there was the
Had a girlfriend like
El
that once,
Magico
probably.
Anejo.
She was a good girl, but I don't talk about her.
So it's funny you bring up those big cherries, because on the palate they talk about black cherries, which I know the Luxardos aren't, but I mean they're a dark.
They're
dark
I mean,
yeah, they're
right?
dark cherry.
They also say pecans, which I know Jason is not a fan of at all.
Yeah, that's.
We were
I
at
grew
Whiskey
up-
Cake Yell last night, and they bring out the whiskey
Maybe
cake.
that's
And before I could even look over, he had knocked all the pecans off the top of the cake.
I was born in South Texas. My family's still in South Texas, and it's like, go pick up the pecans out of the yard. Go get all the pecans out of the yard. Go get every family member. Go get all the pecans out of the yard.
I miss South Texas taco trucks.
Oh yeah.
Nothing against any of the taco trucks we have in Stillwater, because there's about 30 of them.
Oh, is it?
Oh God. Yeah. Anyways, South Texas taco trucks are different. My dad.
Yeah.
So my dad had me young. My mom and dad had me young. They were 18. My dad was 18 when he had me. Had just turned 18, and my mom was 17. And he went straight to welding school over at Tulsa, and then straight to Brown and Root. And was a welder for 7 years, and QC inspector for 15. So I spent a lot of time on the road, and we've been from South Texas to Montana. I've lived in every state south of West Virginia and east of Oklahoma, except for Florida,
Oh,
Well, you don't want to live in
for
Florida
at least
anyway.
a couple months. We
You
just
don't
never
wanna-
had a job there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. You don't
We
want
went
to live
over
anyway.
there. We just never had a job in Florida.
Florida's America's basement. It's dark, damp, and full of old people. So
Yeah,
who
for
wants to
sure.
live
So I had a
there?
buddy that cowboyed over there for about a year. He loved it.
Yeah.
Cowboying was fun, but they just didn't do enough of it. He was on tractor too much. He quit them. But anyway, so the taco trucks down in South Texas, though, man.
So it's funny the just the guacamole they make completely different. They don't
Yeah.
put the onions and all that other stuff in it. It's just whipped and some salt and a little bit of
Yeah.
lime, and it's fantastic.
Man,
and then you get here and it just tastes like onion paste.
Well, and the meat, they do it different, like a
Yeah.
lingua, a tongue.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely different down there, man. They
Yeah.
shred it, and it's
Mhm.
up here that you go and you order a tongue taco, and it's chopped up, and it's like, well, listen, man, you boiled it. That's the first step.
yeah,
There's a lot more that
you
needs to
didn't
be
do the
done.
next two.
Yeah.
right.
Your flavorless tongue taco sucks.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
better. But
Yeah.
it's just different. We would go down there. He spent a summer in San Angelo inspecting uprights for a trolley. And they had a taco shop down there. And you would walk in the morning, and it was a one-pass deal. You'd walk in, and a little bitty room. You walked in, it was like a Subway. And then you walked right back out.
Huh.
You just pointed at what meat you wanted. If you wanted any vegetables on it, if you wanted any sauces on it, you checked out and you were out the door.
Get the
Like
hell out.
Chipotle
Like it
before
might
there
have
was
been
Chipotle.
It might have been 20 feet long
Yeah.
and 15 foot deep.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
wow.
it. There was enough room for a single line, and you walked right back out the door.
Nice.
So it sounds like some of
it
the
was
pizza
great.
places in New
Nice.
York City.
Yeah.
Just big enough to walk through
yeah.
and get your pizza and get
That's
out.
all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because like that's. I'm not going to get into the whole Oklahoma pizza thing. I'm not going to do it. So
He's gonna
I'm
do
biting
it.
my tongue for once. No, I'm not. I won't.
Let's get into the Oklahoma barbecue thing.
We'll be here for an hour if I get into it. If you get me going on pizza in Oklahoma, we'd be here forever.
Yeah.
Just the last thing on this, on the finish, and I'm getting a lot of it, is pepper. So they've got pecan, seasoned oak, burnt caramel, pepper, and mild bitterness. I don't get the mild bitterness. I get
the bitterness.
I get like a salted caramel and then like a lot of pepper as well.
I would say the bitterness, and it kind of, we'll talk about that pecan flavor, not the pecan flavor, but the aftertaste of after you bite a pecan, your mouth dries up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's Jason's favorite.
and it leaves that, like, for me, it leaves that little tingle of pepper on the back sides of my
Oh, yeah.
tongue. Yeah, that's good. See, that's one of the things I do like. Some people are like, oh, it's spicy, and it's like, no.
It depends on the spice. Like I said, Stag to me is just hot. The Stag Junior, I just don't.
So
man.
we were having a discussion about Stag Junior last night, and the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's. And so we had an A124. It was awful.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, that's because that when the month it was pulled, that's not when you want it. You want a D because it's pulled in the fall or the winter.
Say it again. You want the D?
Do you want the D or
Interesting.
Is that what you had? Was the D?
I have it,
I don't
but
think
I mean,
he's- I
if
don't
you
think
wanted
he's
it, I'm
picking up
kind of
on
getting
it.
uncomfortable.
You want the D?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't picking up on it. I'm a little slow.
I didn't think
today.
it was that kind of podcast.
It took me a second. I'm like, oh god, here we go.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm a little slow today.
But the C924, the weeded larceny, that was good.
Yeah.
That was
I like good wheated. You know what
Have you
my
had
favorite wheated is? Old Elk Double Wheat.
We just
We
had
just
that.
had that on the podcast.
It's so good.
I like
It
the
is-
Green River
it is-
better.
yeah, we did a blind. We did an 8.
I have not had enough Green River stuff.
Oh man.
I should have brought some.
Yeah, because I like the Foolproof. Green River Foolproof is really good, and their weeded is I think one of the better.
Yeah,
it's,
I mean,
it's probably
because
the best. We keep blinding it, and it keeps winning.
We did 8 weeders in a blind,
So
and the two that were the clear favorites were Antique 107, obviously, but the Green River weeded.
Bardstown weeded pretty
the
well.
Bardstown weeded was
The
up
orange one.
there.
Penelope.
The double elk or the double wheat from Old Elk was
It's
up
so
there.
smooth.
The Penelope weeded.
Yeah.
It's
almost too smooth.
It's almost too smooth, and it's almost too weeded for me.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah.
Like
Have
I
y'all
like
had-
weeders, but that's a lot.
That
Have you
is
had the
a lot.
cognac finish from them?
I have
From
not.
who?
Old Elk.
No.
Oh, it's money.
Yeah.
Really?
It's money. I'll get a little later. We'll get some of that in here.
Okay.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
The cognac and the small batch sour mash. The only thing I don't like about Old Elk, it's fucking expensive, man. It's
Yeah.
$100 bottle,
Yeah.
and I'm cheap. Like I grew up drinking Crown when we had money, and Everclear when we didn't, which was most of the time. So like,
Everclear, man.
Have
I've got some
there
good
was-
Everclear stories.
there were
for
a
sure.
few years there where Vern had a bottle of Coca-Cola or a Minute Maid lemonade. More than likely, a third of it was Everclear.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's we used to do Mountain Dew and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah. But
That stuff.
So speaking of cheap and good, one that we always surprise people with, I don't know if you ever heard it, it's a Heaven Hill product. It's called Fighting Cock.
yes,
And it's about $15. And
It's good.
It always
I got in a
surprised-
fight with that stuff out on Blake Carl, or Blake
Lake Carl.
Blake Carl Blackwell one night. It was not good.
Yeah.
I lost. Straight lost.
Oh boy.
Remember, thanks for joining us on this bourbon journey through Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Remember, there is a world of bourbon out there waiting to be explored one sip at a time. Until next time, keep your glasses full and your spirits high.
Cheers.
Cheers.